In this video, we're going to cover the program completion and follow-up section of the JTED system. So continuing with our customer, we've included it in these tutorial videos. We'll need to close out David here. So we'll select the name and select the program completion follow-up tab. Now, when we come here, we'll see, we may see this message that we have on the screen here that the customer has open services. So we will need to close those services before we can change the completion status. So if we go back to our career plan, we'll need to, and then the add step services, we'll need to close the services we have. So let's just go to the bottom here. We have this one as successful completion, this one too, this one, but it looks like we will need to close the work-based learning transitional job service. So we'll click the pencil icon to edit. And then we'll scroll down to the status section here. So we'll select successful completion and leave a case note here to update the service. And okay, so that's been updated. We'll go back and we'll refresh this page here, but we'll still see, just wanted to point out, we'll still see this here because, while all the services within the goals are marked as successful completion, we do have an outstanding one here that we would either need to update and close out, or if it was added by mistake, we can just delete this. And if we go back to the program completion page and refresh, we no longer see that message there. So we can update the completion status. And here we can select, depending on the circumstances of the customer, you can select successful completion, withdrew, or unsuccessful completion exit, and exited. In progress, we're already in progress. I guess we have this here just in case, perhaps they weren't completed or exited after or withdrew after all. So you can go back and change that if need be. But if we select successful completion, hang on here. Yep, successful completion, we can save that in the system here. So we'll just leave a case note. And if we refresh this, we'll see successful completion. And if we go back to our progress page here, we do see that we now have a completion status of successful completion. And let me do a refresh here. Okay, there we go. So we had to refresh the data at the top in order to change this flag from yellow to green. So we have a lot of green here. Still got the yellow on the referral, but once our referring organization responds to it, that will change to green. So then all our flags on this page are all set. But I do want to come back over here just to point out a couple other statuses. So if we select withdrew, unsuccessful completion, exit, we do have a list of exit reasons included in this dropdown that we can select. There's a variety here, as you can see. And if we select exited, there are some different exit reasons that we can choose here as well. Okay, so we do have the completion here, but there are some sections here that I wanted to look into. So if the customer receives employment during or after their time in the JTED program, you can add that employment here. We have a note that to collect a copy of their pay stub to verify the employment, and that a paper copy should be kept in the customer's paper file, and a digital copy should be uploaded via the customer's uploads tool, which is right over here. But to add the employment information, we'll click this button and add the employer name. So let's say have that as a employer name example, and then we'll select the start date. Let's say today. The end date, if at any point this employment ends, we can enter in the end date here, but not needed at this time. And we'll just enter a job title there along with a SOC code, which again we can look up by just doing a search here and filtering down. Let's just say this one here. And we can enter in the employer's address information, following fields. And then we'll enter the hourly wage paid, the job duties, and the hours per week. And then we have a couple questions here for yes or no, received a raise or promotion, and do they receive fringe benefits? And the Rapids ID, I don't, we really only need to enter this if they're an apprenticeship, but we do have another section for apprenticeships. So that's what the Rapids ID is referring to if a customer is in or has employment with an apprenticeship, a registered apprenticeship program. So we'll click save and we can see that that employment's been added here. If we need to come back and make any changes, we can make that selection and update accordingly. And maybe if this employment ends, but another one is earned, or they get a new promotion, you can enter a subsequent follow-up here by filling out that information in the add employment window again. The next section is post-secondary. So if they enter, during or after JTED, if they enter post-secondary institution, you can enter that name here. So let's just enter in the provider name, the program name. And then the start date. Say today. And if there's any additional notes here that we want to add, we can do so and click save. Let's see that this has been added in and the page will refresh. And we will see that that entry is now in the table here. In our next section, we'll come back to measurable skills gains, but in our next section, we have apprenticeship, and we can select the add apprenticeship section here. And so we have the option to select they've applied to a DLL apprenticeship, or they're on the wait list, or if they're enrolled in a DOL apprenticeship, we can enter that name here. So apprenticeship A, the provider name, program name, apprenticeship A program. And then we'll enter the start date and the Rapids ID. Again, that would be the ID number associated with the DOL registered apprenticeship. And we'll click save. We'll click OK. And the page will reload here, but we'll see when we open up apprenticeship that that is in our table now. Earn credentials. So these will be once, we've gone over in a previous video how to add a credential. Those credentials will populate here from the career plan once the service is marked as completed. So if you have a credential in a service, but it's not marked as complete, it won't show here until it's marked as completed. Let's see. So then, okay, measurable skills gains. That will be the next section we take a look at. All right, so for measurable skills gain, we'll open up the window here. And we have some filters where we can filter to any measurable skills gains. We have 5 different types included here for skill type, program year, and start and end date. And okay, so need to make an update, but for measurable skills gains, we can add one by selecting the button here, add measurable skills gain. And we have 5 different types we can choose. Most of them operate the same way. This first one, EFL, I believe, is the one that operates a little differently. Yes, okay, so for the educational functional level, we can add the measurable skills gain a couple ways. So let's click the View Add Basic Skills Assessment Results. And on this page, we'll see different assessments that are within Illinois WorkNet, but we will be looking at this one here. So we'll click to add assessment results, and this is for the TABE and CASAS tests here. So if we take a look, search for TABE, and we'll take the math one. And so when we select that, we'll see the assessment information populate here. We'll need to take a look at this chart here. But for the assessment date, let's say we took this yesterday, and the grade level equivalent was easy. And we'll select the test level was easy, but the grade level equivalent, let's say 9 to 9.4. And let me open up this guidelines here so we can get a sense of the scores. So we are doing the math one, so we'll scroll down to the math section here. And the number we entered was 9 to 9.4. And so that is in here. So we can see that, these are the grade levels that it's tied to, and these are the score range. So 9.4, we'll say, between 596 and 626. Let's enter for the scale score 615. And for the results here, we can enter them. I'll just add some placeholder text, and then we can just check how the assessment was delivered. And we'll click save. And so while that is saving here, we'll see that it populates here. And the EFL is looking at at least one full increase in the results here. So that was the initial test, but to just get that baseline, but we'll need to enter in a subsequent one to show the increase in the measurable skills gain. So again, we'll select the TABE test for math. We'll select the assessment date of today. And let's say medium, and then grade level equivalent. We said 9 to 9.4. How about we'll do 11 to 11.4. And we'll see that the score range we'll need to enter is in this range here. So let's say 700 for the scale score. Enter in the results and how the assessment was delivered, and click save. Okay, so we've got our assessments in here that should show an increase. So when we close this and refresh the page here, when we open our measurable skills gains box, we'll see the increase here. We'll see that measurable skills gain added for educational functional level. And for the other ones, we'll select, so let's go to the next one, secondary transcript report card. We have a few questions here. The customer is pursuing their GED diploma certificate enrolled in secondary education. We'll say yes. Customer in the system with the following, is in the system with the following highest level of education, let's say associate's degree. And then we'll need to upload a transcript or report card. So let's say educational document, and then I'll just add a file that I have here. We'll enter in a description and click upload. And then we just need to add the date it was attained. So let's say today, and add the comment. And we can see that this has been added here, and click save. And so when the page refreshes, and we open this box again, we'll see that secondary transcript report card. And for post-secondary transcript report card, we have a question, customer pursuing GED diploma certificate, enrolled in post-secondary, full-time or part-time. So we'll say the degree here. We'll do another upload. Enter the date and the comment. And then we'll see post-secondary there as well. Training milestone is looks like we just have to do a upload here. Let's say plan. Do the upload, enter the description here, enter the date attained and the comment. I'll refresh and then we'll see the training milestone, measurable skills gain. And then for the last one, skills progression, diploma, certificate, degree. Has this customer successfully passed an exam or benchmarks to receive a high school diploma or GED, an industry recognized credential or certificate, or an associate's or bachelor's degree? We can say yes. We can upload the documentation here. So we'll choose our file, we'll do our upload, do the description, click upload, add the date attained and a comment, and click save. And that will add the fifth type of measurable skills gain here. And then if we go back to our overview page and refresh, click refresh status, we can scroll down to the bottom here. So you can see our completion section. We can see the employment information that we've added, our measurable skills gains that we just entered, along with the place in post or secondary and post-secondary. Got our entries right there. And there's just a couple other things I wanted to note on the program completion tab in this follow-up case notes sections. You can add a case note. Follow-up should be done as often as necessary 1 year post-exit. However, at a minimum, it should occur at least every 30 days for the first 3 months, and then must occur once a quarter for the remainder of the 1 year follow-up period. And you can click to add a case note, and you've seen that many times in our tutorial videos. And then the last section here is adding a success story. So, once the customer is completed and exited, they've entered employment, post-secondary, apprenticeship, and so forth, measurable skills gains. You can click to add a success story, and this will take you to our success story guide in Illinois WorkNet. And this is just information about how to submit a story. And if you're submitting for, or, on behalf of a customer, you can select this to do a search for the customer and enter their success story so that it will appear within our success stories in Illinois WorkNet. But that is how you can do the program completion follow-up to edit the statuses, employment, post-secondary, apprenticeships, enter measurable skills gains, and enter case notes post-exit.